Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to 2026. And it's good to be back and see so many people here again. I am really excited to say that we have a very packed program today with a lot of people you may already know or like use their service. We have been preparing a lot of information about what we'll be working on, some cool projects that we're launching today. And then we are be talking to Apify to get an in-depth demo of their platform and product together with n8n as well. So to give you a very quick overview of what we'll do right now, let me just get this out of the way. There we go. We'll start with Niklas Hatje, our head of product, for like about a 20-minute session on our plans for this year and different features that we're working on right now. Then it's Liam, our senior DevRel, who has been working on an LLM benchmark to tell you everything you need to know about their performance and costs. And then finally, I'm meeting with Lucas and Denise from Apify for an in-depth demo. And then I wrap up with a bit of overview of what's going on in the community, some really cool events that are going to be happening soon. And after that, there'll be an after party where everyone can join in and talk about what they've been working on so far. So let's get into it. Nick, let's see if we can get you on the screen. Here we go. Hello.
Hello.
Hey, it's been a little while, Nick. It's been, I checked, you were here on October 1st, so about 4 months ago. And your shows are always the ones with the largest audiences. So I'm trying to figure out how to get you in here more often.
Yeah, I would hope that it's more than coincidence. I would doubt it. But super happy to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Yeah, man, let's dive into it. Let's see what you guys are cooking up for us and what people can look forward to.
Yeah. I think this is the second time we do this like yearly update. So maybe some of you have been here a year ago. So super excited to tell you a little bit about this. And Bart, feel free to jump in if you have questions and want to talk deeper about some of these things, right? But as with, I think last year, we again started the year by defining a few pillars that we want to focus on in product. Luckily, some things have stayed the same, more or less, in comparison to last year. But of course, many things have changed as well. So let me go through these pillars first, and then afterwards, I will tell you a little bit more what these pillars actually mean, and maybe also show some things that we already did in each of these pillars, plus maybe some things that we're working on.
Yeah. And Nick, before you dive in, can you say a few words about how many people are working on n8n right now? So you are doing all the product management, and we have a big team there, and we have a huge engineering team right now. So how many people are contributing to n8n at this point?
It's a very good question because we are growing a lot, so I don't know the actual number. I think totally, you can correct me, but I think totally we're like 220 people.
220 right now, yeah.
And I would say probably half of them actually work on, not actually work on n8n, like build features, code things, think about designs, talk to users and stuff like this. So a lot of people, and we have some pretty ambitious plans, at least when it comes to the product department or to the product and engineering department.
Nice.
To grow this number quite a lot in this
Brilliant. Yeah. And that also explains why we can develop so fast as a product, right?
Yes. So goal is to always get faster, I guess, is always the goal.
We are a fast company, yes.
While, of course, making sure that we deliver quality, right? Like something that is valuable to everyone.
Right.
So
Cool.
as with always, I'm super interested to hear feedback on everything we talk about today. We are super, super excited to hear what you think about some of these things. So let me jump into the pillars and maybe go over them first. We have 3 pillars this time. The first one is that we want to stay on the cutting edge of AI. Very, very important, very hard on its own because AI is moving so fast still. And I will tell you a little bit more about what that means. And the second one is that we want to continue to mature as a platform, just get more mature. And third, or last but not least, is that we want to build out the n8n ecosystem, right? So let's jump into the first pillar, which is staying on the cutting edge of AI. And when we say staying on the cutting edge of AI, we mainly think about 4 categories in there, if you will. And the first one is that we want to support human steps better, right? And n8n is already great at blending AI, code-based, and human steps. But as agents become more and more capable, their work also becomes more and more critical. And thus, it's really, really important that they interact well with humans. So we want to make sure that human in the loop is really a first-class citizen in n8n to help you interact with your agents. And I think one thing we just released on Monday, or one very important step we released on Monday, I think in 2.6, currently in beta, where you can now add human in the loop between agents and tools. So for example, if you have a very critical tool, you might want to check first if the agent is actually allowed to access the tool or do the action, right? That, I don't know, you don't just delete it or something like this. And now you can do this. You can just put this human review node in between every tool to kind of look into this. And this is, of course, not where we stop, right? Like ultimately, there's more that we want to work on in human as a loop, especially, for example, that you iterate with your results so that the agent comes to you, say, hey, Bart, here's the task. What do you think? And then you go back to the agent and say, no, please change it this way. And then it kind of iterates and improves your performance. And of course, many, many other things as well.
Hey, Nick, just maybe good to clarify here, like
Yeah.
people might ask, like, hey, you could already add human in the loop steps like wait and review. How is this different, adding it between the agent and the step?
Yeah. So right now you always have to have it in deterministic logic, right? So when an agent has performed something, then you can kind of look at the result. I think what we have here is that it asks for permission to even use a tool in the first place, right? So it kind of says, hey, I want to read this very, very important data. Am I allowed to do this with the query, like with the right query parameters and so forth? So it makes it much, much easier to have
And so now
permissions.
you have a very hard barrier between the agent and the tool because the human needs to give it that access at that point.
For example.
Yep.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome. The next thing that we're thinking about when we talk about cutting edge of AI is that we want to navigate the shift to more powerful agents, right? LLMs improve every day, and agents will handle more and more complex tasks in the future. And we want to make sure that you can build these really, really powerful and complex agents in n8n as well. To maybe give a small example, our AI workflow builder that we also going to talk about later a little bit is currently not built in n8n, which is super frustrating for us, to be honest. And I know that Jan specifically is really frustrated about this. So this is, of course, something where we think we just need to improve as a tool, that you can build these really, really complex agents with n8n very, very well. So a few things there, of course. One is that we have to improve working with binary data or multimodal agents, right? Like that is something that we think we can do much better in n8n. So one thing that we are already having out there as a test, so you could go to your settings right now and choose the new experimentation logic or the execution logic if you want to test this out, is how you handle binary data in general. So no more $JSON. So if you like that a lot, say goodbye to $JSON. And we also changed how binary data is even previewed in your workflows and so forth, how you just handle it. You can now just drag and drop it in, just like everything else in n8n. Plus, we also work on allowing the agent to pass binary data from or to a tool. So that is something that didn't happen in the past, that like the agent can pass binary data around. Sounds pretty simple, was like technically a little bit more complicated than we wanted it to be, but definitely something that was missing so far, and something that will soon be possible. So this is
That's very exciting.
live very, very
Getting
soon.
binary data being handled the very same way as every other type of data.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The other thing that, sorry, I didn't see the chat.
It was Claire saying goodbye, Jason. Thanks for all your help.
Yeah, bye, Jason. It was a great time. The other thing that is coming with the shift to more powerful agents is, of course, that most of these really powerful agents are like a complex multi-agent structure, right? So that is something that we want to continue working on. That one, you can build these multi-agent infrastructures more conveniently, but then also other things like stateful agents, context engineering, are very, very important things that we think we can do a much better job on to help you build really, really complex agents that work reliably for everyone. And of course, more powerful agents is a very wide range, right? We will also continue looking at MCP, of course, at frameworks like A2A, but also any other framework that might pop up during the year to make sure that we support this as well. Next up, we have adjusting the workflow lifecycle. And what this means is that with AI, the lifecycle of building has changed, right? So suddenly you need evals, for example, to make sure that your agents are working well. So evals is definitely something that we're going to keep investing in, both internally, like our inbuilt evals, that we improve those. But then probably also very critically is that you can finally use external eval services better as well. I think it's one of the most requested things in our forum as well, to open this up. Definitely something that we want to make sure that you can use any eval set on top of n8n as well, and that this is tighter integrated. Then, of course, prompting is something that was really important, right? So we want to help you with prompt building, prompt management, but also, for example, rethink the whole UI about building an agent, right? We feel like nobody has yet cracked the real how does an agent IDE look like. So that's definitely something that we also think about. Maybe the node detail view is not the best for building an agent yet. Maybe it needs to be a different one. And then the next topic here is reimagining the building UI. And of course, with AI, how you build, a lot of this is shifting right now. How you build code, how you build applications, and also how you build workflows is shifting. And yeah, the main work here is, of course, going to be our AI workflow builder that we have released a while ago, of course, but we will keep investing a lot of energy into this. So we have, for example, one dedicated team that is just working on this AI workflow builder at the moment, and they are working on a lot of things. So one, of course, working on the accuracy, that it understands what you want from it and that it translates that into the n8n world better. But then also the whole UX around it. And I brought 3 designs here that the team is currently working on. So for example, we're working on a planning step where you can really plan with the agent together. It kind of asks questions for you to make sure it understands correctly. Or another thing is adding context, right? That you can say, oh, like have a few nodes in context and say, this is the node that I'm talking about once you iterate on your workflows. Or also just reviewing changes as well, which is the third one at the right here, to kind of see what has the builder changed now, and do I accept all of these changes? Do I not accept them? Is it hallucinating? So also a lot of UX around it, of course. And I guess one other topic is also really important when we talk about the AI workflow builder, which is who can use it, right? Especially in the community, a very, very important topic.
You knew I was going to ask, right?
Of course, of course. So right now it's still only in cloud. What I can say is that it will definitely come to self-hosted. So it will definitely come to self-hosted. We are still figuring out a few details though, both technically, but also from a business perspective, like what's the best way to bring it to self-hosted. So we want to have a decision this quarter on that, so that we can communicate our decision in the forum, for example, or with everyone. The other thing that we're also thinking about is like, where can you use the AI workflow builder, right? So we're definitely thinking about, should we open this up to be used outside of n8n, for example, via MCP, I don't know, in your Claude or something? Should you be able to build workflows in your Claude? Not fully decided yet, to be honest, how we go there, but it's definitely something that we also think a lot about. And that covers probably the fullest pillar. So next pillar is that we want to mature as a platform, right? So the first thing that we think about here is that we still think that n8n is great and really shines when you use it for business critical processes. I think that was a big thing that we talked about last year already. So maybe that's one of the constant things that have stayed, which is also great that not everything changes. But of course, like when we think about business critical processes, we think about performance, we think about things like unit testing. How can we bring stuff like this to n8n, retry logic of workflows? And one thing that we maybe already did is, of course, the autosave and publish paradigm. So another RIP today, not just $JSON, but also RIP save button. So we just shipped this. I think publish came with V2, autosave just recently as well, to make sure that you're not losing any progress, and with publishing that you can also have a draft version and publish, like that you can work on things that are in production already. The other thing in maturing as a platform for us is that we want to cover more of the stack. So what this means is, of course, n8n is great to kind of orchestrate with all the third-party tools, and you should do that. But what we also saw is that it's sometimes great to have dedicated tools directly in n8n. I think we have two prominent examples that we had in the past. One is the form node, which exists for a while now already, that you can build forms directly in n8n. The other one is the data tables that we added. And recently, we also added the chat hub. Also, this is something that we really believe in, right? Like almost for all agents, the chat seems to be the main way to interact or consume all your agents that you build. So we believe that it's really, really great that you have one unique one chat interface for everything. We have a dedicated team working on this as well. The first version came live at the end of last year in its beta. But of course, we're working on more here. So it's basically one place where you have all the models, all your agents, basically under one hood, and you can all use this at the same time. You can, in the future, branch out with different models. You can compare responses with different models. You have access to all the n8n tools, to all the n8n agents. And what is also great here is that you can invite chat-only users. So maybe your less technical colleagues, where you don't want them to build workflows, but you just want them to use the workflows that you've built for them, right? So also when it comes to collaboration, I think
and this also provides some extra security that enterprise users need, right? Because these users can now interact with the agents without accessing the underlying data sources, for example.
Correct. And there's also going to be a lot of admin capabilities so that admins can say, you only have access to this agent or this model, and things like this, or specific tools that you're allowed to use, depending on whoever you invite there, of course. And then, of course, the third thing in maturing as a platform is that we want to continue improving our enterprise fit. We think n8n is already having a great enterprise fit because of the self-hosting nature and many other things. But we also see that we can do so much more, right? Like we also move from a world where we maybe have hundreds of users in n8n to suddenly thousands of users at n8n, which is a completely different ballgame, a little bit. And we already started with a lot of things, granular permissions and provisioning. And we are now working on something that we call dynamic credentials. So also very important for the chat hub. So basically think that you build a workflow, you want someone from the outside to use this workflow. Then you want to make sure that they don't use your credentials or have access to your data, right? So it needs to be like n8n needs to dynamically identify who the user is to then give the right access, still while using your workflow. Insights reporting, project isolation, multi-instance management. Like there's a lot to do in Enterprise Fit. So not going to go too deep into this here. So instead, just going to the last pillar, which is building out the n8n ecosystem. And we're mainly thinking about two things here. One is marketplaces. And when I say marketplaces, we really want to enable the community to participate more in n8n, add more content to n8n, help improve it, and ultimately make a living out of it in the best case as well, right? Like earn a lot of money or whatever motivates you. I think we have a few things already in there. Of course, templates. We have verified community nodes, but we also think a lot about plugins. For example, in n8n, it would be so cool if people from the outside could build plugins to change core features or core functionality in n8n to kind of customize your n8n for you. And one thing that we definitely also think about is an agent marketplace, right? That maybe you can build an agent that others can just use or hire, and maybe you make a lot of money or something else with that. And of course, also how all these things play together, right? Like templates, community nodes, plugins, agent marketplace, that all feels very related. So that's also going to be an interesting topic. And last but not least, partnerships is of course also something that we are going to think a lot about. Maybe you already saw the announcement that we had with the SAP partnership, I think at the end of last year. But also considering other partnerships, I don't know, partnering with specific AI solutions, helping other services to maybe have good ways for users to quickly test out their tools in n8n and things like this. There's also a whole lot that we are going to do here. And I think that's it.
That's it.
A
That
lot
means time
already.
for questions.
Yes.
Yes. It is a lot. Yes. But it's really interesting to see that we are identifying so many different areas that we can improve on. And if you multiply all these efforts, it's going to mean n8n is going to be so much more amazing by the end of this year. Right?
Yeah.
For me as a community manager, seeing this focus on ecosystem is really interesting as well, because it means like so many more people with different roles can have a way to play a part in our community as well. So.
Yeah. And it's so empowering that like today we already have many people that make a living with n8n, and I think that's so cool, and that's definitely something that we want to build out further.
That is super cool. Let's see, Nick, if there is some questions from the audience, and I imagine there might be one or two. So what do we have here? Claire, one of our ambassadors from Paris, she says, will dynamic credentials be available in the business plan too?
That's a very good question where I can't give a clear yes or no to yet. So we're like right now the status of dynamic credentials is that we are in like an alpha version that we test a little bit. It's a highly complex topic with identity management and so forth. And we haven't even discussed yet if this comes to business plan as well. So I can't give you an honest answer just yet because we haven't decided.
You'll just have to come back in a couple of months, Nick, and give us an update on that.
Yeah, maybe let's just do that.
All right, thank you. Let's see, is there another question for us? Pepperumo 5116, will functions like LangGraph will implement it when creating agents, having states between agents?
Yeah, so states between agents, I think that's what I refer to as stateful agents, I think is definitely something that is missing right now in n8n. Will it be exactly what LangGraph has? To be honest, I don't know. Like it might be very different, but I think the concept of stateful agents is very, very powerful and something that we are missing a bit at the moment. So it's definitely something that we're going to think about.
All right, thanks. Next one. Luka Pilic, reusable node configuration would be a great helper in enterprise. Pre-configure nodes, for example, HTTP request, save and reuse. And I know we have some ideas around that, right?
Yes, it's also something that is very dear to my heart. So very cool that you asked this question. like right now we have the concept of sub workflows, which is way more powerful than it sounds, because basically you can make everything into a sub workflow, right? Like it could be a code node with something, it could be an HTTP node, like you said, or it could be, I don't know, many nodes that just do a very reusable task. So that's definitely something that we will think about in this year as well, to think about how can we basically allow everyone in an instance to create modular components almost with workflows that others can just reuse. That could be, yeah, like I said, code node, HTTP request, or maybe functionality that is just being used a lot by your colleagues or by others. So that is definitely something that we're gonna think a lot about.
Yep. I've also heard people talk about the idea of collapsing parts of the workflow into a meta node or a group node or something like that.
Yeah, that's actually something we work on right now, which is like we call it like a modular UX for a few reasons. One, I don't know, when you just build a template or something, it's much easier to understand what the workflow does when you look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's also much tidier as well if you don't look at 120 nodes, but maybe just a few modules as well.
Yeah, super nice. All right, we have one more question, Nick. And that is from, let me get this out of the way. Richie Rich, the save button is gone and auto save is now active. Well, you just mentioned that.
Yeah.
Is a collaboration method planned so that we can work together, like actual like live canvas sharing?
It's a very good question. Interestingly enough, we almost always in all of our hackathons, we have one engineer deciding to work on a collaboration feature. So it's definitely something that we think a lot about. Can I promise that something is coming this year? Not fully, but it's something that we do think about. And I think would be really, really cool if you see all the different mouses flying around on your canvas and like one person works here on the workflow, another person works here. So I really, really like this vision. I think so far we've seen that most workflow building is a single player sport, which might either be because that's just how you build workflows, or maybe it's because we're missing this feature to make it a multiplayer sport. That's just something we need to figure out, to be honest.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and one thing when you mentioned autosave, we didn't have a lot of time to go into it in depth, but we are now actually like if you open a workflow in 2 tabs, we'll lock the second tab, right? So you cannot make changes there anymore. So it's definitely not collaboration, but it is preventing you, like 2 people, from making changes at the same time.
Yeah, it's at least preventing you from destroying what the other person is currently doing. Exactly.
Brilliant. Nick, we're out of questions and out of time. But it was really, really great to have you on the show again, and I'm looking forward to the next one.
Thank you so much for having
me.
Always.
Thanks so much for building all these cool things for us, man.
Of course. Let me know what you guys think, and thank you so much.
All right, cheers. See you, man. Bye. All right, that was Nick. So next up, we have Liam, our senior DevRel, who's going to be talking about his LLM benchmark. Liam, there you are.
Hey, thanks, Bart. It's very hard to follow Nick, huh?
It's yeah. We should be building up this arc a little bit, right? Yeah, but you are making some really cool stuff as well. And I was just thinking earlier today, like you've been on this live stream twice before, I believe, as a like community member and ambassador at some point. But you joined the team in August, and I'm really curious, like, what's that been like for you? What is the inside versus the outside of n8n?
I have to say it's really interesting because I was expecting it to feel different, but it wasn't. You know, the people are the same, the energy is the same. It's just as electric inside the company, except, you know, just all the time. And it's what I'm doing 40 plus hours a week. So it's been really fun. And now just, you know, n8n has become more and more my family.
Brilliant. All right. Well, it's great to have you on the team, man. And so what have you been up to recently? What have you been building for us?
So I've been building in the background almost the entire time I've been at n8n an AI benchmark that essentially is ranking all of the different LLM models based on how they perform at different specific tasks in n8n. So I can share my tab here. And it actually looks like this. Are you able to see this?
Yep, here we go.
So this is live right now on the n8n website at n8n.io/AI benchmark. And this is actually a ranking of all of the different models that we support in n8n by how they perform in different specific categories. So then the idea here is you don't have to pretty much guess or just use your brand loyalty of what the best model will be for your use case. You can think, okay, I need a model that's classifying, or you can come in and say, I need something that uses tools, they can't hallucinate, and it needs to classify, and it doesn't have to be fast, but I don't have much money. And then you can see pretty much a specific score for your models there. You can even put in the amount of tokens you expect to use. Let's say it uses a lot, and then it actually tells you exactly how much it will cost per workflow run. And to make it even easier to use, if you we added this nice little search bar up at the top, this AI bar, where you can describe your use case, a workflow, but you can also just paste in your workflow JSON here. And then this will
That's
go,
new, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, that's new. That's new. And it will actually go in, explain to you why it picked it, and it will pick the different categories for you. So I've been working on this for a while. Oh, and one other really cool thing that I think is just amazing. You can just come in and just copy the chat node right from here and paste it right into your workflow. So I've been working on this for a while. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about it because I could go on for hours, but I'm releasing a short video tomorrow about it. So make sure you're watching the n8n YouTube channel tomorrow.
I do have a question, Liam. So like this is all powered by n8n, right? You're just like running like loads of tests on it.
Yeah, so this is 100% powered by n8n behind the scenes. There's, I think, like 8 different data tables where I'm doing relations inside of them. And behind this is hundreds of thousands of n8n workflow runs making this actually happen. So this is like a really big, complex project in n8n that I'm hoping to make a really deep dive video on. If people are interested in seeing a deep dive video about that, it would probably be like an hour. So let me know if you actually would be interested to see that, so I can justify, putting out a video so ridiculously long.
All right, guys. Well, let Liam know if you want to see that video.
Please.
Yeah, super. No, that's okay. Taking a quick look to see if there's any questions about this project. And so, Liam, you said people can already access this at n8n.io/AI benchmark.
It's /AI benchmark. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I should have had that prepared to put on screen. I'll put it in the chat right now.
Sorry, I missed Claire's question here. Right. So Claire says, an idea about that. Can we have in the inside dashboards the amount of tokens used globally on the instance, and ideally broken down by model as well? I think that makes a lot of sense, right? When you're talking about evaluations and your insights to know how much you're spending.
Definitely. So I have, this isn't very integrated into the product yet, right? We talked about linking between them a little bit, but there's not much in terms of like connection to the actual use here. So this is more just like where you go to pick the actual models. Something somewhat related there is that the run cost here is just doing the actual math of the sticker price of what the models are, but there's actually a category over here for cost. And what's interesting is that adds up the actual cost from all of the test runs and then does the math to see how much it actually cost, which is really interesting because there's some models that are listed as cheaper, but cost about 10 times as much because they output so many more tokens. They're just much more verbose. So there's some really interesting insights. I'm actually making a whole like chart dashboard to kind of show some cool insights between models. So I'm excited to share stuff.
Nice. Hey, and I'm seeing people asking if we could take a quick sneak peek at the workflow. Do you happen to have an open in a tab right now, or
the workflow that powers this?
Yes, the workflow.
There's about 60 different workflows that powers this. So if you want that long video looking through it, ask for it because I need some justification to make for it. And there's a quick sneak peek video coming tomorrow on the YouTube channel. Okay. So we'll have to wait for that.
One final question, Liam. Are you planning to support users creating their own benchmarks as well?
That's not really in scope now, but I did have an idea about having a form where people can submit their own use cases, and then I will add them in so your essential use cases can contribute to the overall test category. And then as a reward, we'll tell you, okay, this is the best model for that. So then you don't have to spend thousands of dollars with all the different API providers. We'll spend that money for you, tell you which one's best, and you'll help contribute to the system. And maybe we'll send you a shirt or something too if Bart lets us.
I'm happy to send everyone t-shirts. Yes. Brilliant. All right, Liam. I hope you'll be back in the future session then to tell us a bit more about the future iterations and your plans. But this is super exciting. I saw a lot of requests for that video, so I think you're on the hook for that now.
Perfect. Thanks, Bart. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man. Take care. All right. Our next guest is Apify, and I have Lucas and I'm sorry, I just blanked. Dennis, just hey guys, welcome on the show. We're big fans of Apify here ourselves. We use it in a lot of our internal projects, so it's really cool to see some of the team on this session here. What are you going to be telling us and showing us today?
Hey Bart, hey guys, happy to be here. I'm Lucas. This is Dennis, and yeah, the feeling is mutual. We're actually using n8n internally a lot. I won't name any names, but our RevOps team is basically migrating all of their automations to you guys. So kudos to you, have an amazing product. And let's take a look of what we're gonna cover today. So we'll do a brief intro, but I'm sure most of the people watching this already know Apify. Last time we checked, I think we were maybe number 2 node, most used node in n8n. So I'm sure a lot of people are familiar with Apify and what we can do. Then Denise is going to show his RagBot agent demo to showcase how easy it is to build a simple RagBot powered by Apify. Then I'm going to talk a bit about RMCP and newly released agent skills. And then at the end, if we have a bit more time, I can show these agent skills with Cloud Code and how you can then tie them into building some n8n workflows, hopefully.
Brilliant. Okay, let's do it.
Right. So what is Apify? We're a marketplace of tools for AI. And what we're, I guess, most known for is web scraping, right? So on our marketplace, we currently have more than 14,000 tools. Most of them are actually community-driven. And basically, if you need any kind of data from anywhere across the web, you can probably find an API for it on our store. So if you need data if you need to scrape social media to monitor your brand, do some sentiment analysis, or track the performance of your content, or catch some rising trends, if you need to analyze your competitors, if you need to generate and enrich leads, and all of these common use cases, we have a solution for you, basically. And that's also why I think the combination of n8n and Apify, we're both such complementary products, right? We're very horizontal in terms of what data we can provide. And n8n is the glue that connects all of these data pipelines together and gets them into your system where you need to have them. So it's like a match made in heaven.
Mm-hmm. I can already see a lot of comments rolling in about people being a fan of your product. So
yeah,
there you go. Yeah.
But what maybe not all people know, that actually you can also build these tools on Apify by yourself. And we're trying to make it easier, creating which I'm going to showcase with the agent skills later, where you can now vibe code your own Apify actors for some data sources, for example, that we don't cover yet, right? You might find some very niche website, for example, maybe it could be some government database that doesn't have an official API. And if you want to extract data from it at scale, you can build your own actor to do that. And what even less people know is that the actors themselves, they're not just for web scraping, right? You can build actually actors to automate stuff. So you could, I don't know, take several actors together and connect them into like a workflow, package it into an actor, and say it could like execute the workflow and upload the data somewhere for you. So, but yeah, but I guess the web scraping and getting the data is pretty much the main part. Right. Now, Dennis is gonna now showcase his record demo. So I'm gonna hand it over to him.
So today I would like to show how easy it is to plug in Apify and build your RAG-bot. Here is the whole pipeline you need. So on the left side, we'll execute by clicking. And here we have the scrape n8n blog. For this use case, we will scrape the n8n blog website, which I can show here. They have some new blogs. Actually, some of the topics mentioned today are here. So back to the workflow. I'll start executing this. So let's look at the Apify node a little bit. Here we are using the website content crawler, which is like a generic scraper. You just plug in the website URL. For example, here I can see I put the blog URL here, and it will do the scraping for you. And once the scraping is done, it will push the data into a Pinecone vector database and we'll be able to speak with it. So let's go to Apify platform for a second. Here we can see the website content crawler actor. And here you can see I have configured it. There are like some advanced options. And all you need to do is press the JSON button, copy your configuration here, go back to n8n, and just paste it. And just like that, you have your node ready. So once the scraping is done, we'll start chatting with our AI agent. So maybe a little mentioning of how Pinecone works and how the data is chunked. We use the simple text splitting, which means there is like some overlay between the text and it just uses a very simple chunking mechanism. So here I see the Pinecone is now ready. So I'll just open chat and I'll just ask it. So what are some new features n8n team has been cooking up? I post my question, the agent receives it, agent queries the vector database. We can see here it searched for new features, and then now it received the data we scraped, and I can see now in beta, autosave, I think we heard about it today, version publishing, concurrency protection. Let's ask another question. What about some new AI features? So let's see. Again, the agent receives the message, searches the vector database, new AI features. And here on the right side, we can see some of the chunks that are returned. So here, human in the loop, featured AI workflow examples. I guess there were some examples, and we can see the links here. So just like that, we can build a very simple RAG bot and build the pipeline for your chatbot with fresh data from the web.
Yeah, now I might maybe like a little bit expand on this. Like, well, why would you build a chatbot by like scraping websites, right? I mean, I can just ask the LLM and it can search the information for me on the web itself, right? But if you want to do this at scale, say you want to build like your own proprietary chatbot for like to support your customers, right? To answer maybe questions from your documentation or from your internal knowledge base. Well, then if you want to actually for it to be accurate and reduce the hallucinations and catch all the latest data that you have on your website, and say your documentation has like thousands of pages, well, just like the bare bones LLM won't be enough, right? So you actually need to feed all the data into some sort of a database. And that's where a scraper like this comes in, which extracts clean markdown of these pages.
Yeah. And I can add that on Apify, like we said, there is more than 14,000 tools. So yes, ChatGPT can search the web, but it can't search Google Maps, or you might need your data from Instagram or YouTube, and it might have a hard time scraping those. So that's where tools come in, and at Apify we provide those tools for your AI agents.
Right. So yeah, basically you can use all of these tools for your RagBot to like feed it data that you would have like otherwise very hard time getting at scale. And even like, I don't know, when you talk about maybe some of these like new or like some of these recent like AI native scrapers, they also usually have like a very hard time like penetrating these platforms that have like very strict blocking measures implemented, right? And also, like, if you're implementing for scale and cost, you need something that's more of like deterministic in nature rather than just like built on top of an AI model.
Yeah, that makes sense, and that's something I've run into myself as well. Like using an LLM for that will really slow down your larger processes, and getting a quick scraper that provides reliable structured data makes a big difference there.
Yeah. Cool.
Great.
Well, so there was the RagBot. I don't know if there's anything else you wanna add, Denise, there?
That's all from me, but I think you wanted to show some agent skills.
Yeah, that's correct. So we've actually like just today, like we'll be announcing like the release of our own agent skills. So you can find them in this repo. Okay, sorry, I need to just switch. You should be able to see it now. You can find them in this GitHub agent repo, and you can like simply install them in your agent. I'm going to be using Cloud Code for this with this simple command, which I already have done. And what they solve for you is actually sometimes like navigating the Apify store, because there's like so many tools available there, can be kind of like cumbersome, and like deciding, okay, which are actually like the right tools for me for the use case I have, right? And like trying to decide and comparing on prices and stuff like that, and then like testing them individually. Well, here we've basically done all the hard work for you. And since we are like interviewing our users on a daily basis, we have a lot of this data around like what are the most common use cases that Apify is being used for, what are the most popular actors that can actually get you this reliable data for these use cases. So we like packaged it into these reusable skills, and it's basically all figured out. So here you can see like the common examples that our users are running in n8n, especially to, for example, like lead generation is probably the most popular one, right? Like finding a company, extracting their employees from LinkedIn, enriching the leads, trying to like find their emails and contact information. Something like brand reputation monitoring, like monitoring the brand mentions across your social media platforms and analyzing their sentiment, and other use cases like that. So let me pop to my Cloud Code instance here. I'm not sure if you can switch it for me. Just do entire screen. Yeah. Cool. So now here in Cloud Code, I already have these agent skills enabled. So I'm gonna just let's do the brand reputation monitoring example actually. So I just invoked the skill by selecting it, and let's can you scrape latest mentions of n8n automations from, let's say, LinkedIn and Twitter from last week, and analyze their sentiment. So now I'm gonna fire it off. We're gonna let it cook, and yeah, in the meantime, if there are like any questions that are coming up, Bart, you can shoot. And maybe now, how do you then like? I can explain. How do you then tie this into n8n, right? Well, like task like this, I'm doing this like more of like, can't find the token right now. got a bit of classic live demo issues here.
Live demo is always the same. Yeah.
But yeah, so a task like this, oh, come on. We put it here, right?
We'll see in the meantime if there's a couple of questions that we can do.
Yeah.
All right, here's one from Irina Feskova. Does Apify Scraper work only with text and visible content, or can it also process text contained in images and non-visible data? And I saw a related question about PDF content as well. Like, how would you process that?
Well, in terms of like text in the images themselves. Yeah, I believe there are some OCR scrapers on Apify for sure. So you can simply, by the way, like a cool, like a quick, neat way to actually navigate the Apify store. Can you guys see this? Yeah, you should be able to see this Apify MCP store, right? You can actually connect Apify MCP to like any preferred AI client. And what we've been hearing and seeing in our users, that Apify MCP is like really great for actually searching the store and trying to like make sense of all these actors, right? So I would recommend like connect this to Claude or whatever agent you prefer, and actually ask it like, hey, are there any OCR scrapers on Apify that I can use? And this is like probably the best way to search through our store. But yeah, actually yesterday I was preparing some new landing pages, and there was this one OCR scraper that I saw. So I'm sure you can find some of that.
Okay, thanks. How's your Claude code generator going?
We're gonna do something that we should not be doing. Maybe I'll stop sharing for a bit so I can copy my API keys.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'd remove it afterwards, but
yeah. So in the meantime, if there are any other questions,
well, I might actually explain like why this is happening in the first time, because the agent skills themselves are actually not using the MCP server itself, because the MCP server, like when you're doing tool calls with MCP, it's very token heavy, right? It will like bloat the context window of your agent quite a bit, and you can't really do any of these like data heavy operations. Like say you want to scrape 100 leads from Instagram, like those JSON files that you're going to receive from Apify are quite large, and you just wouldn't be able to do this. So that's why we actually like built, I'm going to share my screen again here. Yeah, so that's why actually our CEO, like over Christmas, he was vibe coding with Cloud Code a bit, and he built this. It's called MCP CLI. It's like a universal client for MCPs, which kind of like solves this problem, that it basically abstracts those MCP tool calls into simple CLI commands with which these agents can work much more efficiently. So these agent skills are actually using this MCPC, so that's why they need the token directly. And we see that now it's actually working and searching for the right actors.
I'm looking at the clock here. We should start thinking about wrapping up in a couple of minutes. In the meantime, I did see a question pass by about GDPR compliancy. So when you're scraping different resources, do you have any mechanisms in place to ensure compliancy?
Well, you know, that's sort of like up to you as an end user of what are you going to be using this data for. And so definitely like consult with your lawyer, you know, but the scraping data from public websites is like perfectly legal, and there's like certain legal precedents for this, where if it's like publicly available data, then you can basically access it via scraping. But
Makes sense.
yeah, it might be a bit of like a gray area. So, definitely like when it comes to personally identifiable data, be careful.
All right, thanks. How are we doing here?
Trying to bully my clouds to keep working here. And now, yeah, maybe what I wanted to mention also that when you do these tasks with these agent skills, you can kind of like figure out, okay, what's the right data pipeline I need to work with here, right? It will like recommend you certain actors, and it will figure out their inputs and outputs and data mappings. And then you can feed this information, or you can give the agent information from, for example, n8n documentation, or what you actually mentioned in the 2026 roadmap that you are considering like making the API for creating workflows available via MCP. This would be a killer use case, right? I would just connect n8n MCP here, and it would first like run this scraping for me, figure out what it needs, and then it would use the n8n MCP to actually then build the workflow.
Build it out. Yeah.
With these.
Can be done. I suppose at this point you could already generate the JSON and try pasting that into
Yeah.
into n8n, but it might be a bit hit or miss at some point.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think there's like what you can do at least is, for example, context 7 MCP server, which is like up-to-date documentation of like all the software, and then you can basically, yeah, you can give it the documentation, and it will try to like figure out the JSON file of the n8n for you, right?
Yeah. Well, we kind of learned the hard way that it's not easy to generate workflows, but that's another story.
Yeah.
I think we're running out of time a little bit here.
I'm actually gonna stop this because I had a working one here quite some time ago. Now, this is where I was trying to build an n8n workflow. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, this didn't turn out the way I would like it, but that sort of happens with these live demos.
Yep. I know.
But,
it's okay, but maybe we can move to wrap up your segments, and then I can.
Sure.
Yeah. So, how can people best get started to try this out?
Yeah, if you want to try this out, go to this find Apify/MCPC on GitHub. There you can install the MCPC client on your machine via terminal. Save the API key from Apify on your machine in the folder where you want to work with. Then you are going to install the skills via this new skills SH framework from Versal, simply by doing this command npx skills at apify/agent skills, and then you can get up and running. And for the viewers here on this live stream, we got some free credits and discounts. So if you're an existing Apify customer, you can use this coupon code in the billing section of the platform to get 30% off for 3 months. And if you haven't used Apify before, you can use this coupon code for $30 in platform credits of prepaid usage.
Excellent. Thank you. Take a screenshot, guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
This up for a bit. And by the way, if you have like any feedback on our official n8n note, feel free to write us at integrations@apify.com, and we make sure to look at those.
Right. Fantastic. Well, thanks so much. I'm sorry the demo didn't work, but that's the thing with computers, right? That's the risk that we're willing to take here. So thanks for being on the show, and yeah, we'll be in touch with you soon as well.
Thank you very much, Bart. See you guys.
See ya. Bye. All right, switching back to the final bit of my slides here. I'm just gonna head over to. I'm gonna add it here. Ooh, I have to start all over. Okay, before we go, so last comments here. We're still hiring right now. I checked half an hour ago. We have 36 open positions. So if you're interested in working in this space and working with our team, and I can confirm it's like an awesome group of people to work with. Head over to n8n.io/careers. We have jobs in engineering, but also in operations and in finance, like everything. You can check it out there. Then. Next, we have a lot of events coming up. Just until the end of February, we have over 20 events around the world. There's a lot of meetups. We have a lot of workshops happening, and it's only getting better and more. So I highly recommend you take a look at n8n.io/community/events. It will always be up to date, and you can see what's happening in your area there. And one of the things that we started doing last year is the n8n sessions. These are the official workshops that we're hosting around the world. And we started by doing the starter sessions, which is like a very basic introduction for people who never used n8n before. But we have expanded the series into the builder sessions, which is a more advanced series of lessons. And soon we'll be working on the next topic as well, which will be diving way deeper into AI and agent building too. We are doing these workshops all over Europe and all over the United States. So again, if you are interested in joining us, these are free of charge, full evening, providing food and drinks as well. Head over to n8n.io/community/events, and we might run into each other there soon as well. Then final thing. I already mentioned user meetups. These are very often hosted by our ambassadors. So we have this group of very active users who are helping us host meetups and workshops and hackathons and all kinds of fun activities around the world. We're always looking for new people. We are about 85 now. We had 24 people join since the last live stream. So we're growing really fast at this point. And if you're interested in helping out, if you like running these kind of events, if you like connecting with people, if you have like at least 1 year of experience with n8n, we would really like to hear from you. And you can head over to n8n.io/ambassadors to read more about the program and to apply. And then we'll be in touch to get you on board. That was all for today. It was a lot, but I'm really happy that so many people stayed with us here. So that is awesome. As always, we will have a after party that you can join here. Head over to bit.ly/n8n-after-party or scan the QR code. I'll leave it on my screen for a bit, and then I'll pop over to the after party so we can hang out and you guys can tell me what you have been doing instead of me telling you. It was a pleasure. We're already planning our next stream for the end of February. So let us know what you would like to hear there. Let us know what you enjoyed about this one, what you'd like to do different, and then we'll keep improving. So thanks for being here. Take care. Bye.